Equity futures pulling the key mode now, days potentially.
You're seeing this with assets increasingly move to the region. What could the response in markets be to that type of action? Should it be taken, particularly if it comes after the summit with Xi Jinping?
The response mounts up.
What is the dominant player and over?
It's the latest this morning. Tech leading a global equity rally on resurging AI optimism and strong earnings. Ian Harded of Absolute Strategy writing at a sector level. We continue to see caught up. You were talking about a tech capex driven bubble in the equity market. You see more of the same?
It's really strong. It's really, really strong. I think we've seen what the US tech hardware stocks up 25% in a month. Some of the Taiwanese stock market, the Korean stock market, absolutely on fire. Very much this is a tech-driven market. It's an earnings momentum-driven market.
Who are doing that out of cash, and now that's starting to change.
It makes it economic activity. Rates going. Really seeing gas prices up significantly, 50% drag down on economic growth. But this is a bit of a change here.
When you think of a contradiction, some people are saying the reason why it's not.
So I think if you look at what each other's companies with drives down, the cost, and that drives down the cost of capital, and capex goes through the roof. These are all symptoms, Lisa, of the end phase of a bubble. But it doesn't mean your higher price levels generally are quite positive for corporate profits initially. But then, if you see that cash flow coming down, coming under pressure more generally.
So investors have largely been saying that the stagflationary type of environment.
So I think the thing that you have to recognise is that stagflation always kills valuation. The combination of higher inflation and lower growth is a killer for people. Actually, the winners in the ACL, and the key to it is compromise the whole structural story. Tech stocks, but broader credit stress, because it really brings.
You can make a strong argument for the inflation right now. Can you make a convincing argument for the stag?
No, and I think that that's the reason why we're still, our argument has always been, and historically, if you go back over 100, I heard you talking about stagflation response, a kind of policy move you'd need to see coming out of the Fed.
If you look at where we are now, the data's OK, the earnings are great, big tech's still spending and the Fed's not hiking. It's
as you say, if we move, after a few to weaken people's, positive half. Double, hard to be too bearish, isn't it?
It's difficult strategy research. Just working through some of the moves, the index through the week, a major move off the bottom from the end of March.
I'm still thinking about what Ian said, that it would take 250 basis points to really have that stagflation type of response. People are saying probably it's better the deficit, and this is makers are willing to take.
Basically in the fall.
The next Fed chair will maintain that, even who are saying, wait a second, guys, this is no.
Equity futures right now, Holders Yemba of the Centre for a New American Bloomberg Surveillance, just around the corner.
About to start.
And you're already looking for that edge.
The opening trade brings you everything you need to know as markets open across Europe.
Let's talk about the significant risk transfers to find space in their balance.
Sweet trade.
Every trading day, only on Bloomberg.
Sabia que fazer. Como they are suffering.
Some of the world's most desperate people.
Of being $1 billion business, then you're going to have to do what it takes. And if you're not going to do that, everybody's going to suffer.
A
lot of good. It can really transform people's lives, but it can also hurt them.
In every aspect of our lives.
And here's Bloomberg Tech.
The stories. And we're here where the action started. Weekdays only.
The opening bell.
With deep analysis, which markets are changing.
X7 or AI.
That's a really compelling story.
This is where your trading day begins.
And this is Open Interest.
Only on Bloomberg.
We've seen the data just continue to be resilient.
This all points to an dual mandate in focus.
The bar to cut is anyway a little bit higher.
This is Bloomberg Survey.
Going into this, a week of inflation data. Going into this, a week of inflation data, CPI.
We have inflation that's above target, a Fed that could be moving away from an easing. Have inflation that's above target, a Fed that could be moving away from an easing bias.
Super bullish equities. Lots of reasons for bullish equities. Lots of reasons for. Around 450 on 10s. That's where.
On one hand, you've got a valuation problem, and you could say, but then you start talking about the constraint and the rest. Dry up there. Who's going to rate? We've got the inflation part of.
See much of that right now. Do you, Ed Yardeni? Ed Yardeni over at Ed Yardeni Research. We're raising our year-end target from 7,700 to 8,250 years, and
from where we are right now on the same thing. Ian kind of pointed out, not people cannot keep spending. The cycle, we have seen some indications from getting higher, and is it going to materially shift?
This hour we'll catch up with Sarah and Trump's trainer. Plus, we're holding on to gains as the diplomatic effort, lack of throughput in an inflow. Sarah joins us now.
Is that you have this, we've had a buffer on become an issue. So far, it's been, from an economic perspective, it's been concerns about flights being canceled and change sentiment very quickly. If all of a sudden or not, that's going to happen. But I think I can talk about the things that are worrying. I mean,
well, let's start with energy then. Up energy. We've got a decent idea, not a fantastic idea.
Individual stocks on the non-technology level, you've seen some reaction to the lack of spending.
You talk about sentiment rolling over. Well, sentiment's rolling over, at least if you believe the University of Michigan Sentiment Survey of years now. But what is the first signal to you that there is some market change in consumer behavior?